I hate to break the fishing news after Yaremchuk, but I'd like to speak about the ice hockey.
Congratulations, you're one of the 13 listeners of the Real Life Podcast.
We just traded a migraine in for like an orgasm.
Might want to mark that down, Yaremchuk.
Yep. All of my projects are on schedule until they're not.
A member of the Nation Network of Podcasts.
About as funny as we're going to get today.
Welcome in, episode 268 of your favorite hockey-related podcast, not always about hockey. I'm Tyler Yaremchuk. The whole group, everyone is here. It's a full roster after Bagged Milk and Chalmers were suspended for one episode while Chris Labossiere joined the show. This podcast is brought to you by Oodle Noodle, 14 locations in Edmonton. Heads up, Calgary. We are coming for you. Most people listening to this would be Oilers fans, so I was going to make a Flames joke there, but that wouldn't have made any sense. Anyways, a location's coming to Calgary. And don't forget.
No, the other locations, Jay. Hit him with it. Hit him with the news.
What news is that? Fort Saskatchewan.
Wasn't there one coming to Fort Sask? Yeah.
And St. Albert.
Oh, we've been teasing Fort Sask forever.
Yeah.
The issue with Fort Sask is we had a location lined up and then it fell through, and now we're dealing on a new location. So that I think we're even more excited about because it wasn't available when we first were looking. So a little bit delayed, but Fort Saskatchewan is still on the rails. And yes, we are going to be coming to you in St. Albert, hopefully at some point this summer.
Went and looked at the store space yesterday, as a matter of fact.
In St. Albert?
Oh, really? I was actually out by there yesterday too.
So you guys both basically drive right past my house and don't think like, hey, maybe I'll stop in, say hi to Yaremchuk, do like a patio
pandemic,
hang out.
A, if I knew where you lived. B, I would assume I'm not welcome.
Why would you assume that? I always like having company. There's a nice sitting area outside. We could sit 8 feet apart, not even 6 feet apart.
The tension on this podcast is, if it's any indication of what we'd be like in real life.
All right. Fair enough.
Where do you live in St. Albert? Like, don't give me your address, but relative from that one location we were just discussing. Are you within 5 minutes?
Yeah, easily within 5 minutes of that.
Is that a good location for an Oodle Noodle?
I think so. I mean, you have to, if I know the location right, it's a pretty high trafficked area there. There's a few spots to eat, but not enough where it's like overcrowded. So you'll stand out. I think it's a really good spot.
And we play well with the neighbors beside us too.
Yeah,
fair enough. You could say we love them.
And there's your tease. There's your tease at where the location is.
I want to be next
Easter,
to cannabis
everyone.
shops. There you go. Cannabis shops. Those are the ones that I want to be near.
There's a cannabis shop by there.
Is there?
I went there not too long ago to buy a gift card for my brother-in-law.
The Oodle Noodle on Century Crossing, is that what it's called, Jay? The one on the way into St. Albert?
That's Northwest Landing.
Northwest Landing, sorry, yes. I went in there and I talked to the different people who were working at the different places. And I was like, hey, is Oodle Noodle any good? And they all went, why, do you work there? And I was like, no, just a guy looking for a meal. And the weed store next to it was like, Oodle Noodle is the best thing going. And I'm like, if that guy thinks that, we're going to do all right in this location.
Fair enough.
Oh,
that's how we do it.
Been a great location for us.
I tried something new on Saturday. I tried the Mongolian stir fry.
And how was it?
Awesome. Like, it was so good. I even texted JR and I was like, what's the one that's just like the kids? Because I love the kids. I always eat the rest of the kids stuff. And he said the Tokyo Glaze, which I'd always gotten. And I needed to try something like different. But I'm one of those people that, like, if I get something I don't like, I just get pissed off. And so I usually just, like, I have one thing that I eat at Joey's every time I go there. And so
yeah, it's called a vodka.
Well, it's called a Ryan Coke with a cheddar chicken sandwich.
2 Ryan Cokes, the Chalmers.
I think it's okay to have one thing you always order from the same restaurant as long as you mix up your restaurants enough, right?
I have a default at all restaurants. If I do not decide by the time the waiter, waitress, whoever comes, I will default to cheeseburger. But I couldn't imagine Chalmers just ordering the same. I couldn't imagine though ordering the same thing over and over and over and over again. Spice of life, baby.
Yeah, I know, but he's right. I do change my restaurants a lot. So like, I'll get the same pizza from a pizza place, but then I'll get the chicken sandwich from my favorite chicken sandwich place. Every single restaurant I go to has like my one staple, and I do not deviate from it. And
the problem is, if you go away from it and then it isn't good what you ordered, you like wistfully remember your favorite and you're so disappointed the whole meal.
Well, that's just it. And I hate that feeling because I've watched, my wife is somebody who likes to try new things. And she does this thing, and it really bothers me. And it is that she asks the waiter for their recommendation, right?
Okay.
And
good thing you don't keep guns in the house,
order it.
Chalmers.
Like,
how dare she?
She does order it, but here's the thing: it might be what they like, but how does she know it's what she likes? You know what I mean?
It's
like,
putting
she says,
what's pressure on the waiter.
Yeah, what's your favorite thing on the menu? And they say something, and immediately like you feel obliged to order it, so she does. And like half the time she doesn't like it. And I'm like, well, what do you expect? You literally took a stranger's advice. A stranger's advice. Yeah. It is so ridiculous. You know, the other
thing like you picked a guy off the street and said, what do you think's best in this restaurant? She's asking the guy that or lady who either disappoints or makes the day of hundreds of diners a day. Usually they'll know what's best. I think it's a fine play. Yeah, but what if I'm like kind of in the mood for a pasta and I say, what's the best pasta you like? And they say, like the salmon. And I go, okay, I'll try it. And I don't like it. Now I'm stuck with the But if you say to the
dish.
waiter, what's the specialty of the house? What do most people come here and really enjoy? The likelihood of you getting something awesome versus taking it upon yourself to randomly select something on the menu.
That's fair, actually.
That's what I normally ask. Like, what's the signature dish or what is this place known for? That's that's what I normally ask if it's a restaurant I've never been to. And use that. But yeah, like I'm with you, Charles. If you're going in there with an agenda of like, I'm craving pasta, and you're like, what's the best thing? Oh, you gotta have the veal. And then you eat it and you're like, fuck, you're already set up for failure because you wanted pasta.
Does anybody else in your guys' life do this? And that is like, you'll say, I'm going to order like a chili chicken as an appetizer. Do you want some? And they're like, no. And you're like, well, okay. And then when it comes and they like just keep eating it and you're like, see, I knew how much I was going to want and it was the whole thing. And so if you wanted some, I'd rather get 2 and throw away 3/4 of it so that you could have some and I could still have my amount. Like when I get 6 chicken McNuggets, let's say, and I know I want 6, right? But she wants 1. And then I only get 5.
It sounds to me like it's a fucking miracle anybody wants to go out in public with you at all. You can thank your lucky stars. Other human beings want to spend time with you.
I am very pleasant to be in public with at restaurants as long as you follow some simple guidelines
that you lay out and don't tell them.
Yeah,
as long as you follow my rules.
Don't eat my shit. I don't. It's not that I don't even like sharing. It's that I'd rather get way more than not get how much I wanted.
But then why don't you eat faster and then just eat everybody else's stuff? That's my approach. Prison
also,
rules.
Chalmers, the number of meals I've attended where you rock up late, start your own bill, run up an 8 Ryan Coke tab, don't order food and leave early. Like if I had a nickel for every time I've seen you make that move. See you later, guys. I got better shit to do. I don't think he ordered anything to eat while he was here.
No,
and that's what you call going out for dinner.
That's usually my Friday lunches. forget to eat. You know what I mean? But no. I did. The Mongolian stir fry was fantastic.
That was an ad for Oodle Noodle.
Yeah, this is an ad for Oodle Noodle and Joey's somehow.
I got it. Oh, Joe, everything should be an ad for Joey's. My favorite place on earth.
And they have great fish tacos.
Great fish tacos. Great everything. Except
I had Oodle Noodle for lunch today. I had the Hakka chicken. It was good.
Oh, I still haven't had it.
Yeah, it was good.
Can you explain to me why a place like Joey's would take Bud Light off of the tap? That doesn't make any sense.
What does this have to do with anything?
It just does. It's
just real life.
When I go to a restaurant and I want a pint of Bud Light and you're a chain restaurant that should have Bud Light and you take it off and now you don't have Joey's Lager, which for all intents and purposes is probably Alberta genuine draft. Oh, I don't think it's better.
It's not better.
There is nothing better.
Silly.
There is nothing better than a nice BL, like a cold, crispy boy on a hot day.
Yeah, that's why you go to Boston Pizza and you get a Coors Light in the frostiest goddamn. I don't know how they get them so frosty, but they're the frostiest mugs in the world.
Yeah, their beer cooling technology is advanced.
Oh,
I will say this:
greatest.
If it's cold, and maybe this is me just being young and naive, but I believe I'm right. If it's cold, there is no difference between a Bud Light, a Coors Light, a Molson. There's no difference to me.
Oh, young
Yaremchuk.
Single dumbest thing you've ever said on this podcast.
No, if they're cold, man, they taste the fucking same.
No, they do not.
Absolutely not.
No.
Most of them taste like urine, and then the other tastes like Bud Light.
No.
You could give a Sam Adams. You could drink a Sam Adams at any temperature, from boiling hot to ice, and it's disgusting.
Or a Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Oh, nobody wants a PBR ever.
Never.
You've got one of those twisty mustaches and you're doing it ironically.
If it's cold, it don't matter.
Wow.
All right. Well,
Okay.
next time I buy you a beer, I'm going to buy you a piece of shit. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
And if you buy it for me, I'll say
I'm going to
thank
give you an ice cold Big Bear.
Yeah, exactly.
And you have to drink that thing to completion with a smile.
There's a lot of signature drinking moments I missed during this pandemic. Drinking to me isn't like a flat activity. There's like a bunch of different things. Like when all of a sudden you realize that your last 6 drinks have hit you and you order shooters. That's one of my favorite drinking moments. Or the one I'm missing at the moment is getting icebergs and sitting on the patio, like on Joey's or downtown or something, and just sitting down and being like, I'm probably not standing up for 4 or 5 hours of sunshine. That's a good
Have we ever talked about when we were younger and we used to play the game called Edward 40 hands?
Oh,
you take 2 40s and you tape them to your hands with duct tape, and so you couldn't use your hands. Yep. And the only way you could get them
all.
Yeah, the only way you could get one taken off your hand is by drinking one.
I've pissed my pants several times.
Yeah, that is a hard game to play.
Your hands get so cold.
So cold.
We should do a Big Bear episode and then do a subsequent episode the next morning to share with everyone how we feel.
I'm not 100% sure I could drink a full Big Bear right this minute.
I don't know if I could drink a Big Bear either.
You gotta want it.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to put clam in it? I'd have to put clam in it or something. Like I'd have to kill it.
Well, Wanya and I's dream is to get Nation beer into a 40.
40 for the active citizen. It's going to say on it.
Exactly. For the athletes.
Yeah.
But with the Big Bear, I think you would have to do the old 25-cent draft approach that you did at Cowboys, where you put like 65 limes in it or something, because that stuff is undrinkable unless you're Tyler, because it'll be cold and delicious.
Yeah, it's cold and delicious.
Yeah, it would taste like a delicious. What do you like there?
I am 23 years old. Put any sort of cold alcohol in front of me and I'll drink it. Although, let me say this. This is on
cranberry juice, Yaremchuk, if you throw cranberry juice in any undrinkable beer, it's delicious.
Sure. Orange juice as well. I love a good beer mosa on a Sunday.
Yeah.
OJ is a tough one because you get the heartburn after 12 of them.
And I call those a Saskatchewan Sunrise, please. Thank you.
I have been missing drinking like a shitty tasting lukewarm beer at an Oilers game. Like I miss that feeling of sitting in the stands with like the plastic glass that just tastes like ass in the Oilers game. So I've been going to the liquor store before Oilers games and buying the biggest Molson Canadian they sell and drinking it. I don't even enjoy it, but it just reminds me of being at the game and it tastes like shit. Yeah. And it's my new tradition.
We've all got to adapt.
Yeah.
Smart.
Yeah.
I order hockey beers and skip the dishes, and they're $43 each.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
Driver. I would do anything to pay $13 for a beer at Rogers right now. I just would.
If we need a way to transition into something, may I please have a second to
That's
address?
Odd, but sure.
Well, I could tell Yaremchuk wanted to move on a while ago, and so I'm just helping
to
him
another
out, being a good team player. Unlike a certain somebody on this podcast who is an awful team player, one of my best friends in the world, who, like on last podcast, I have to address what happened because I was told I was not allowed to be there. This was going to be a serious talk with our brand new money daddy. And
Money Daddy.
When you guys talked to Mr. Money Daddy, I learned a couple things about him. Number one, I think I love him. I think I'm his best friend because he put you in your place, JR, and he even said,
"Oh, thank God!"
Chumgate.
I couldn't tell if you were going to be mad at Jay or me there that whole time. I was like, I hope Jay's in trouble, not me.
No, see what JR did was he took his favorite hobby of talking shit about me when I'm not here to defend myself, and he took it and he did it again, just like he's done in the past. And somebody who I don't even know, who just
brought it up.
Story, I know, but you
he brought it up. I did not lead him to talk about Chumgate.
I'm glad he brought it up because you know what he did? He vindicated me. He put you in your place. You had nothing to say about it.
He said he was on Chalmers' side. He did say
that. It just shows you that he's kind.
He's like, I think it was unfair. My wife wanted me to make sure to tell you guys that we thought it was unfair that you assassinated his character and that we are Team Chalmers. I was actively fist pumping in my basement while I was listening to it. I had a couple drinks. I was cleaning out my crawl space. I was getting work done and I was listening to this thing. And I got to say, like, man, I was so happy when he said what he said, because there's a smart guy, a guy who gets it, a guy who, has had numerous occasions like this with his friend. And to hear that after all of the evidence was put in place, that he didn't think that I had cheated it was very nice. And, it made me feel good, to be honest with you. And it also made me feel good how much he just enjoyed
the weeds. I respect he got into the weeds of the nation culture. He said he listened to that on his drive down to Saskatchewan. He queued up Chumgate.
That's what you call cultural fit.
I never thought when we started that whole thing, when that came up and it got started, that it would be as polarizing as it is, and that everybody would be able to kind of relate to a time in their friendship, in their group friendship, where they could, they had a situation like that. It's just, I think it like kind of connects us all. I love where it's gone. I love when people keep bringing it up on social media when they say, even if I did cheat or if I didn't, I still love every little bit. And to find out that was his like polarizing moment of the podcast, that when he said that he was walking his dog and not many things can make him forget about where he is or what he's doing, but listening to that episode kind of just made him, in the zone of where we were at that moment. Like, that's got to make you guys feel pretty good.
Chumgate is our moon landing, Chalmers. It's the historical event of note. And what you need to do in subsequent years of the Derby is get more people's takes on the moon landing and make content out of it. And you can be like, hey, Lavin, you were there. You remember the moon landing. Yes. What's your take? You can get like biographical information about yourself for the next 20 years because everyone has a take on Chumgate.
That's why Grizz4327 left a review that says, this is the most entertaining Nation Network podcast. Crack a beer, take off your pants, and listen to the worst podcast ever. Thoroughly listen whilst grooming my snowball with the Manscaped Lawnmower 3.0.
Yeah.
My winter wood had never looked better.
Hold on. It's the best podcast. It's the worst podcast. Here's my pubic hair situation.
Looks even
Let's see where
better
it goes.
in my nutsack underwear. Also, I'm usually at a 7, but I'm at an 8 when Chalmers is on, and I'm at a hard 8 when Chalmers joins halfway through. That is the title of my set. That is a 5-star review.
Well,
I still got it. I still make all the boys come.
Still make the boys hard, eh? Well, there's something to write home about.
All right.
We're the best and worst.
You could also talk about Joe Mama, who also left a 5-star review entitled, "The Group is What Makes This." Unreal podcast full of laughs, good times, and a little sprinkle of Oilers talk. How to wager a few units on our own real life hero. My guess for Clue is Yaremchuk in bathroom with burrito for the win. That is an adventure. Honestly, between Chalmers' mini rants, Wanye's facetious comments, and Jay and Bagmilk's determination to drive Tyler's anxiety through the roof when
Facetious comments.
His ad reads by keeping it off the rails, this is by far my favorite pod. Only downside is I only get to listen to it twice a week. Shout out to Scott for helping me be a better. I love that segment. Don't change anything, fellas. Last 4 or 5 pods have had me dying in the truck laughing. That is from C². P.S. I'm in for disc golf. Never played, but it sounds like a guy can knock a few bevies back while doing it. And for that reason, I'm in. That is a 5-star review.
C², as in Chris Chalmers, as in Chalmers wrote that nice thing for us.
No, I would never use my real name. My name is last name McCocken, first name Barry. Anyways, do you see how many people?
Wow.
Do you see how many people? Like the interest for our disc golf tournament is like off the charts. I'm getting
This is
people
a shameful
day.
perversion.
I get why this guy said this is terrible, but I love it.
It's not good.
Oh, Uncle Barry.
We're going to get to the disc golf tournament in a second here. And I'm hoping that by the time we get to that point, maybe our friends at Twig and Berries can like hook us up. Give us some like disc golf apparel, something like that. Anyways, you can, they talked about the nutsack underwear in one of the reviews. You can get your very own pair at twigandberries.ca. And if you use the promo code Nation15, it gets you 15% off your order as well. No judgment, no shaming, no fancy words. Just real men, twigandberries.ca, good local company, free shipping in Canada, over $100, free local delivery in St. Albert. Huh? Pretty good. Nation15 is the promo code.
I got a care package dropped off for Chalmers and I here at the office. So Chalmers, I'm soon to be your neighbor. So I'll deliver these to you, and then we have to take some photos and show off this
underwear
nice gear they dropped off for us.
I'd like to see that.
Yeah, we
nice
got
little
some hoodies, got some tees, got some hats, got an ODR hat and a nutsack underwear hat.
This is cool. How come you guys were the only ones who got some?
My ODR stuff.
Well, maybe
know who the male models are on this thing, Yaremchuk.
Well,
they know
exactly.
they know who's going to sell the units. Brand.
That's right. So
plus two of you don't even show your faces, so it's not like you're going to take pictures with them.
Hey, listen, if you want to take a photo shoot neck down in my nutsack undies, I am ready for it. I will shave down and I will grease up. I'm an oily boy for the job.
What's this oily boy? Where'd it come from?
The new era of Oilers hockey dramas.
So we got a DM about this as well. I should get the name here. I think it was Ryan Felton, who wants to know, when is the Oily Boys t-shirt dropping?
Very soon.
When Oily Boys has hit, when enough funny Oily Boys shit has happened that we're like, Oily Boys is cemented. Right now, it's very close. Bagwell, do you agree? It's on the verge of being legit. Something has to happen.
I can tell when nation vernacular is starting to turn a little bit when I start getting DM'd using that little phrase. So now I'm getting a lot of stay oily, which I really appreciate.
Yeah.
Yes.
And just talking about self-identifying as an oily boy or oily girl or whatever you are. I like it.
What constitutes an oily boy or oily girl? Are we all oily boys?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You just
all
love
Oilers.
That's it.
All Oilers are oily boys. All Oilers fans are oily boys, boy and girl. And there's no way it's a copyright. That's the most important part to note. If you're a lawyer and you're listening,
yeah,
oily boys could mean anything.
Yes.
Could just mean we're very slippery.
It's just fun to see, like, the Oilers will score and then you see all these GIFs coming out of people covering themselves in baby oil and stuff. It's the best.
Great.
It's so
Koom and I like to pretend that drinking cups of motor oil for health is what you do when the Oilers score. Though it would be lethal.
Yeah.
Big fan of videos.
There's a Quaker State sponsorship and there's a Johnson & Johnson baby oil sponsorship to be had here. We got to go chase that. That's
a Conley McKinley funeral home option if you actually drink motor oil.
Yeah, we've hit peak oily boys at that point. But to answer the question, we do have a design in the can, and we've got we're working on some concepts for the second season, if you will.
I think it needs the current font, which will not allude to directly, Jay, but it needs the squirt emoji.
Iris?
Oh,
oily boys, and then on the third level, the drip squirt emoji. You know the one.
I want to circle back to something Jay just said. Jay, you said the second season. You're dancing around the word playoffs, it seems.
Whoa.
And I just want to say this. Because I'm all in. Right now, moneypuck.com has the Oilers at a 96.3% chance of making the playoffs. Are you still nervous about saying, like, they're making the playoffs? Like,
listen to this, Yaremchuk. Listen, sorry, Jade. I know this is a question for you. Last year in February, Money Puck had us at 99.9 or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah.
And I put it up and someone said, it was like January 20th. I remember. And someone was like, aren't you worried? And I was like, look at the fucking chances. Of course, there's still, as long as there's a 0.01 chance, there might be a death pandemic or Godzilla may come to the surface. Who the hell knows?
Yeah. And also, we're going to have to Sharpie out the 2020 portion of a lot of Mission 2020 flags.
Yeah, there's going to be some repurposing, but I think that's going to be kind of the charm of it.
Or just wait for Mission 2028, and then you're just adding a ball.
Yeah, that works too.
Or Mission 3020.
The funny thing was about those car flags, Jays, I remember you coming into the office at Little Brick and saying, should we make the car flags say just Oilers Nation or Mission 2020? And I was like, make it Mission 2020. That way there'll be a new flag every year. And then boom, pandemic.
Right now, the Oilers are 8 points up on the Calgary Flames, and the Oilers actually have a game in hand on them. This thing's fucking locked up.
Don't say that.
I thought the game against Toronto on Saturday was locked up. And as my son reminded me, 2-goal lead is a no-goal lead.
Well, isn't he the greatest?
He is the greatest.
For you. Well, isn't that great, Chalmers? I shove you and your son out of the way.
We took a 4-minute nap in that game, and it fucking cost us.
What do you need to see, Jay?
Goals, though. Bad goals.
Well, there was
It's a
two really
heartbreak.
lucky goals, and that's the thing. I got to do a spat with a Leafs fan who's a buddy of mine, and he will not acknowledge the fact that two of those goals were fluky.
Yeah,
And-
like the first one.
Like they were legitimately fluky. I'm not looking for excuses. I'm just saying you got two lucky goals. So like, don't act like you deserve to win that game.
The first one popped skyward and bounced in off Mike Smith's head. Like,
Well, Engvall tried to punch
he
it.
tried to hit it.
I wish he did.
Me too.
Yeah.
Good Lord. We were so close. Damn
The
video.
old saying, there's no pictures on the scorecard, so it doesn't matter. It's still a loss.
Jay, what
I
do you
know.
need to see? What do you need to see before you're going to start talking about playoffs 2021?
Yeah.
Oh, no,
What is the
milestone?
milestone?
I'm just being. I would already. Honestly, I'm feeling very certain that we will be in the second season.
In
When
the
can we start
playoffs.
talking about it? When can we start
Uh,
hashtagging about it? When do we write ones on all our old flags that we never sold?
To be real solid about it, I bet you will have a solid understanding next week if we can go all in on like those efforts.
Interesting.
So if
Sure.
the
But it's
Oilers
the-
were to go 10-10-1 down the stretch, so just like 500 here in their last 21 games, they would finish with 64 points. That means in their final 20 games, the Calgary Flames would need 19 points in their final 20 games to catch the Oilers. No, Jesus, that makes no sense.
Yeah, I'm like that's
Yeah,
not
math
that
guy.
hard.
Math guy.
9,000 points.
They would need 29
their
points. 29
10,000
points.
hours in.
29
of a
points.
possible 40.
So
Yeah.
are we past the point where we can talk about it, or do we need to see something in a week? We'll know if we can start saying it's on.
Win tonight because we beat the Leafs, and we can go for it.
Well, and then we have the
Tyler?
big game against the Canadians on tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah.
Like we got it. Like I wouldn't just say tonight. I'd say we'll know better Wednesday morning, because Wednesday morning, if we're looking at 2-0, man, the whole thing changes a ton.
Oh
Absolutely.
yeah. Well, then it's locked in.
Canadians with 4 games in hand on us, though, that's fucking nerve wracking.
they suck,
Yeah,
though.
but
They're
they're look at their record, man. If it wasn't for the overtime loss, like
They've
they
only
would
won
be-
14 of their 31 games.
Yeah, like that's not good.
True, eh? No, it's
Like
not.
they came out hot, and I was worried about them, but now they've definitely come down. And I don't know if they're like what they got left in them.
That's a big problem with the NHL system. The Oilers, in their last 10 games, they have racked up 15 points in 10 games, and they've won 7 of their 10 games in the process. The Habs have won 4 of their last 10, but yet somehow they've racked up 12 points because of these shitty overtime losses.
yeah.
So
It's ridiculous.
let's talk the playoff picture here. What is your ideal scenario here for how the regular season ends up?
I just want the Oilers to have home ice in round 1. I don't care who they play. I look
Really?
at like Toronto. It's doubtful they would even play Toronto, first of all, but like, I don't know, man. I think come playoff time, the Leafs goaltending is questionable, and they worry me, but every team worries me. Having to go up against Carey Price in a 7-game series, I know he's been hit and miss this year, but like that still scares me. And going up against Winnipeg, that's the best forward group in this division.
That's the
in my
only
opinion.
team I'm worried about, especially if they trade for a defenseman.
Yeah.
is Winnipeg. That's the only team I'm worried about. Like, sure, our record against the Leafs isn't that great, and that drives me nuts. But like, I believe in my heart of hearts that we are better than the Maple Leafs.
I'll tell you,
Yaremchuk?
I wrote this on the GDB on Saturday. I said it on ON Radio on Friday. Tyler shit on it. But if you've ever seen the year 2000's Gone in 60 Seconds, the Leafs right now are like Eleanor, the Shelby Mustang, that Nicolas Cage could not steal. And no matter what, things went wrong and it always got fucked up. But in the end of the movie, ties up nicely. And to me, that's what the Leafs are for the Oilers right now. It's not that the Leafs are playing so damn well that they're unbeatable. The Oilers are playing about as poorly as the Leafs are playing good, which is annoying. This is Eleanor from the Academy Award winning Gone in 60 Seconds. Thank you.
Yaremchuk, you would shit on a cinematic masterpiece. That is barely even a fringe observation, Bagmouth.
Thank you.
I've never even seen the movie he's referencing.
Oh,
Me
well, there's
neither.
the problem.
Oh my
How
god.
dare you?
Were you even alive in the year 2000, Yaremchuk? Were you born
Barely.
in the millennium?
He was 2 years old.
3.
Oh my God. You're 2 years old in the millennium?
Oh, listen,
Fuck.
We were walking around Cowboys with a video camera when he was being born, you guys.
Oh boy.
And this was before Girls Gone Wild. We had a video camera. They let us bring it into Cowboys. Oh, and you just.
Where is that video, Chalmers?
Oh, Foot probably has it.
Like that.
Deep in
if
the
you ever
crypts.
want to freak yourself out, we got to get that shit digitized.
Can I ask a question about? Just clarify this for me, because once again, I don't pay attention to a lot of shit.
Exactly.
But is it the top 4 teams from every division that making it 16 teams make the playoffs?
Yep. Bang on.
We're kind of lucky that we only have 7 in there, eh?
Yeah,
Well,
but
But if you look
No.
around though, Charles, every division has teams that are dog shit in it. So it's like
It's
We'd
true.
be in the
There
playoffs
actually is
in every division. Like how we're doing, we'd be in the playoffs picture right now. In every division.
The real difference right now between our division and the other 3 division is the top 3 teams in the past 10 all have like 9-1-0 records or 8-0-2 records.
What's our past 10? Our past 10.
So our past 10 is great, 7-2-1, but the Jets is 5-4-1, who's in second, and the Leafs are 4-6-0. Like, if there was a time that was prime for the taking, it's right at this minute. And so, like, the boys, these next 2 games, I'm not gonna lie to you, these are pretty important games. I know they're all important, but I'm saying these ones might be a little bit more important than.
Well, important for our position in the standings, but like for me, and that's why I asked the question is, where do we want to finish? Who do we want our first round opponent to be? And I like, for me, it's like, I don't know if I want to play the Jets in the first round. I think I'd want to play the Leafs or the Habs. And the only way to do that is for us to finish 4th or finish 1st.
I mean, as somebody who thinks that the Oilers can beat the Leafs in the playoffs, playing devil's advocate on that, I mean, that's a pretty dumb thing to ask for, at where we are in this exact moment in time. That would be like, seemingly just asking for the hardest test for us and the one way we don't make it out of the first. So I don't understand why you would want the Maple Leafs over the Jets. I pretty much would want anybody but the Leafs. And then
there's very few things, Chalmers, that are constant in our lives: gravity, death, taxes. And the Leafs losing in the first round.
Do you want to be the ones that don't do it though? Let's maybe let somebody else do it, and then we can beat them in the second round. And then
we meet the Leafs, I want it to be in the Cup fucking finals, the way God intended.
That would have to be next season.
Exactly. Don't waste this shit.
To me, I don't care. Connor and Leon are going to go bananas in the playoffs and just make the dance. Because
do we get to watch the playoffs in the arena, or what's the situation, you think?
You missed my would you rather question a couple episodes ago, Wanye. I said, if I give you 2 options, would you rather attend every game for the rest of this regular season with a full barn, 18,000 people, no pandemic, it's just normal for Oilers games, or you get to go to every playoff game this year, but it's in an empty arena and you're by yourself? Which one would you pick?
Oh, that's a tough one. I think I'd want the one where we're all together.
I think you're right, because
I had you on going playoffs, Wanye.
I don't know. I'm at this point in the pandemic, I'm nostalgic for human contact.
That's
I went playoffs all day. Me and Ricky's son went playoffs all day.
I saw the thing that you guys had on Instagram today, a post of Jason Gregor's, and I couldn't agree with Jason Gregor more when he put out the lines, the first 2 lines for tonight. It was Draisaitl, Puljujarvi, and McDavid, and then on the second line it was Turris, Nuge, and Yamamoto. And he made a comment saying, you have to have Puljujarvi and one of Draisaitl and McDavid, and then on the second line, just the other one with Nugent Hopkins. And you can't have everybody on the first line like that. Like, it's just not going to work. It's not sustainable.
Flip Yamo and Puljujarvi. Makes more sense. Because, like, if you looked at the game against Toronto, first of all, Kahun fucked up real bad, and that caused that giveaway caused that 1 goal. He's out of the lineup tonight.
I don't think Kahun's playing again.
I don't like him either.
That second line was tiny. If you flip Yamo and Puljujarvi, all of a sudden that's not nearly as big of a problem.
You think that was a death sentence for Kahun, Yaremchuk?
I honestly don't know if he'll play another game for like a month. I think Tippett's I like Kahun. I think he's been doing some good things in the offensive zone. Like, you can tell the wheels are turning in the offensive zone, but it just feels like every game he's turning over 1 or 2 pucks in his own end.
And always costly.
Dave Tippett's just going to have none of that shit anymore. I think Dave Tippett sat him for like a week not that long ago because he was doing exactly that. And like in one of your first games back, for you to jump into the lineup and just keep turning over pucks, like I think Tippett's just going to be like, fuck, I can't trust this guy. Like he's done. And he's not going to be a bottom six guy. He only really makes sense if he can play with Draisaitl. But even then, I think Ennis is a better fit. I like Kahun. I was hopeful for that, but I think he's done, man.
He had the one good goal.
Exactly.
The thing with Kahun is I think like, I agree he's probably not a third liner, but if he's on your third line left wing, then you're like, okay, I can buy that. But I would much rather have Ennis in the lineup on a nightly basis.
Much crazy, but I think I'd rather have Nygard in the lineup. I like Nygard when he plays, man.
The dude, all he's got is speed, man. He can't keep the puck on his stick.
He's He's Luis Mendoza from Mighty Ducks.
He definitely forechecks hard. That's for sure, and that's a great reference. Bag milk. I'm glad to see Ennis back in. Well, when do we give Cass the nod? He's been showing up since he's been back. Like, especially come playoffs. Like, it'd be good. You're talking about that line was small. Like, you know, that getting Cass back up into the top six allows you to move some big bodies around.
Play Cass on the left side.
Yeah, I would do that. Because
is Cassian effective in a fan-free playoff situation? He scores the big goals.
He's been better.
He demolished John Tavares the other day.
Yeah,
blew him up.
Hammer time.
Left his feet, but a big hit.
Hey,
well, no, but did he leave his feet? No, but did he leave his feet after contact or before contact?
That's what I thought. I thought the momentum. I thought the momentum.
Like anytime you go to follow through, it's just like a natural thing to come off the ice like that.
Yaremchuk, were you even in Cowboys?
I never. No, I was never.
No, dude. Cowboys was done like 8 years. Like when we were.
God, Yaremchuk, you're so young and your takes are so out of focus.
Man, I loved getting hammered at Cowboys and then going across the street to Denny's just piled up.
Oh,
it was
I can identify with his demographic. Yaremchuk, there's a gap.
Where was Cowboys?
Oh, my Lord.
Right on Stony Plain Road, just between 178th Street and 184th Street.
It's like a Toyota dealership now on 170th Street.
Not far from the station, Yaremchuk.
Or 170th Street.
It's like I literally just told you.
You know where like the Capit is? Capit used to be Santana's.
Is it still
Toyota
that Denny's?
dealership is what's that?
Is it still that Denny's? Is that Denny's still a Denny's there?
In the Sandman Hotel?
In the Sandman Hotel?
Yeah, okay. I know where Cowboys is.
Oh, no. The Denny's is still there, isn't it?
Yeah. Chop's next door.
It's like attached to a Chop or something too.
There used to be a haunted abandoned hotel right across the street from Cowboys, Yaremchuk, and you would look at it from the patio and like tell stories. Like, I knew a guy who went over there one time. There was a bat in the room, that sort of thing. Now it's all gone. You were a toddler. That's disgusting.
I was not.
What year were you born? What year were you born, Yaremchuk?
Same as Connor. The city of Edmonton was blessed with two great things in the year 1997.
Or they counteract each other. One of the two.
They're hero on the ice and they're hero in real life.
1997, eh?
Yeah.
Tyler,
you think if we ever wanted to get back in the bar game, there could be like an Oilers Nation themed bar?
Yes.
Well, first of all, we are getting back in the bar game. It's about 40% built.
Yes, but that is a very I'm talking about like
sports
Cowboys-esque type of sports
like
bar.
a nasty.
Hold on. What are you saying? Are you saying
fancy
Cowboys or are you saying a nightclub? Because if you're talking about a nightclub, I'm very interested to hear what you have to say.
No, I don't know. No. This has got to be one where people want to go to watch a game and then stay because
are we just rebranding the Pint?
The other bar we own.
Well, let's change the name of it to the Oilers Nation Bar.
The Pint is the best bar ever. Oh,
I know it is.
You'd have a tough time. You'd have a tough time getting that through the business license people to call something Oilers.
Tyler, what is the cheapest drink you've been able to purchase at a bar?
I think those places like the Ranch in Knoxville's and shit would do like
$2.
$2.75, I think was the lowest they could legally charge.
Good Lord.
And there was probably like a quarter ounce of alcohol in those fucking things. There was like nothing. It tasted like
I remember going into Cowboys on Thursday nights, slapping down $5, and you get a tray. And then you just cleaned them out of all the limes because who knows how many different kegs that beer came from. And then you just powered it back and it's
a total different lifestyle you're in because all the glasses were small. So you'd order like 5 of them and hand them out to people that you didn't even know because you had so many tiny beers all of a sudden.
$20 got you food afterwards. Like if you went to the bar with $20 to your name on a Thursday night, you had enough for a $10 donaire at the end of the night. And it was majestic.
Well, donaires
what usually happens?
They were $10. They're about $4.
You get two donaires for 10. You get two cheese donaires for $10.
The 25-cent draft would always lead to the credit card behind the bar and shots, and then forgetting said credit card at the bar, and then having
going
to go
back
get it
on
the
a
next
Monday
day.
morning, very embarrassed. Yep.
Finding out that your friends had a fun time on it without you knowing. Which never was fun.
That's like when it had a $500 limit on it, maybe too. You're just like,
oh yeah.
Fair enough.
I was in Tempe, Arizona.
Fair enough.
I went to a concert in Tempe, Arizona once, and I went to a bar on Mill Street, which is like a university bar, and they had the best promotion ever. It was called Canada Night, and every like Friday night was Canada Night. It was $2 Coors Lights or $2 Crown Royals. So you get like $2 Ryan Cokes or $2 Coors Lights, and it was fucking awesome. Like you don't get that in Edmonton, that's for sure.
Liquor in the States is so cheap, though. It's preposterous, especially if you're in the South.
Oh yeah,
how cheap that shit can be.
That's why whenever we go to Vegas, we have the rule that you have to have a drink in your hand on the strip.
Well, it's just more affordable to do that than drink water.
It's more economical. Yeah, that's true.
Okay. Speaking of being economical.
Last year when we were down in Vegas, we were all walking around with a case of White Claws, and we got in trouble because we kept putting it on the craps table. It's the best. I love Vegas. I can't wait.
They don't give a shit. It's so funny.
Flowers are blooming. The grass is growing, and it's time to mow your lawn. Manscape.com. I really didn't have a good transition, but that was part of the stuff they sent me. Anyways,
I like it.
Yeah, promo code Real Life. It gets you 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. Make sure you go up to the top and change your currency to Canadian dollars if you are indeed in Canada, I suppose. But head down, just have a browse. Just go take a look, whether it's for you or whether maybe it's for your loved one. You're like, hey, listen, you want to send a subtle reminder, like clean it up. Let's go. Mow your lawn. Do some spring cleaning. Manscaped can help you out with all that. 20% off, promo code Real Life. I've been using my Lawnmower 3.0 with the skin safe technology, and I love it. Sometimes I get a little, well, what are you going to do? It's an ad read. And I actually do like the product because they sent me one and I use it more. It has fully replaced my old razor. So manscaped.com, promo code Real Life, 20% off. There you go. Spring cleaning. Get that stuff trimmed up for playoff season.
I too use mine often, Tyler. Maybe we could compare grooming tips.
Wow, maybe you could shave each other, you weirdos.
That'd be nice.
It has a built-in flashlight on it. So, Chalmers, for your own line of work, you could just carry the razor around. And if you need a flashlight, you just use the Manscaped razor. And
you just listen to it razor all the time.
while you're working.
I'm going to try it as a beard trimmer.
Sometimes I like to hold the flashlights in my mouth when I'm doing work. So just imagine that thing vibrating around in the old mouth,
Good. Okay. Fuck me. All right. I put out a call. I put out a call on Twitter because I was like, I wonder how much we're gonna have to talk about today.
We are inconveniencing Yaremchuk so much.
I know.
Today.
What do you? This is technically.
I can just see the pain in his face. More reason why we need to fucking video this thing because everyone can see the pain in Yaremchuk's face of having.
I love when he leans back.
What I was gonna
video Yaremchuk.
There it is.
What I was going to say was I was worried there weren't going to be a lot of topics today, so I put out a call for questions, but I'm surprised, happy with how well this has flowed. I think we've got some good spots. How do you run out of
shit to talk about when you're talking about nothing? You'll never run out.
There are episodes where no one's really in the talking mood, and as the host at that point, I feel like it's my job to bring shit up.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Anyways, we got lucky because our 30-second Oodle Noodle ad read turned into 15 minutes about Joey's.
So authentic.
And ended with you saying that you'll just drink any beer like a Neanderthal.
I bought a pack of River Valley beers because they were $11 for 12 of them. They were okay.
God.
They were
what you pay for.
I have a cheap house beer. It's just the Brew House Light. That's just my normal house beer. But it's not the same as a Bud Light.
I've also been getting into the Bronc beer usually when I go to the liquor store, I've talked about this before. I get my case of cheap beer and then a couple fancy beers as well. Have Nation a couple beer, fancy beers. Yeah. Nation beer, anything. Yeah. Start the night with a couple fancy beers and then you get to the crappy stuff or the cheaper stuff. It's not crappy. It tastes fine if it's cold. Like I said, Anyways.
There's going to be a point when you realize how dumb that is.
No, because I know what is good beer and what's not. Like I said, I'm a fan of my craft beers and all that.
You guys have changed your metric when you were Yaremchuk's age during the millennium. It was, what is my maximum intoxication for minimum dollars?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's but now he's.
What are its IPA values? Does it have a high bitterness?
Yeah, but that's not. He's saying he knows good craft beer, but I would. What is a craft beer to you? Because the way you set up Bud Light, I think that's what you think craft beer is.
Jay, which flavor of Boone's had the highest alcohol content?
Oh,
the red one.
Strawberry Hill. I remember going to the liquor store with Jay, and he was like, "Hey, here's how we're going to do this." And he went to show. He's like, "We're going to get beer. We're going to get a Boone's each." And I was like, "Right." And I reached for the Boone's. He was like, the strawberry one has more alcohol." And I was like, "Okay, good." This is a veteran.
Bang for your buck, man.
Darn right.
That's why I used to drink. I used to drink TNT in high school for that.
Oh my god,
we've
that's
talked about
disgusting.
This.
It's a tough one.
Yep.
That's.
I was pulling out. I was cleaning out my crawl space due to some spring cleaning,
and
I pulled out a box. I pulled out a box of pictures, and I was looking for one with me with a Kangol hat on. Unfortunately, I couldn't find one. But what I did find was one night at Rum Jungle when we were upstairs, boys, and everybody was like, "Wanye, there's pictures of you," just like. Everybody's around. It's like one of the best nights of our lives.
Look at those, buddy. I want to see those.
I know.
What's funny about that is someone would have had to have bought a camera with film.
Oh yeah.
Chalmers, I want to
rigmarole getting that done.
We used to take disposable cameras, remember? Because then if we lost them, nobody cared.
Yeah, that's true.
And we never developed them though. We'd start the night out with one, and then you would like throw it in a taxi or some shit by 2 a.m. And then I'd be like, "Chalmers, what happened to that camera?" You'd be like, "Shut the fuck up!" Is what happened to that camera.
I don't know.
Can we look at those digitally? Can you use 2020 technology and take a photo and send it to us wirelessly one of these days?
Yeah, I'll do it.
I saw a photo of myself on the Cowboys parking lot. Yaremchuk, you wouldn't remember this because you were 2 years old.
Yes.
I used to have pure white dyed hair that I would dye myself.
I did too.
And 2 earrings, each cooler than the last. And that shit would point straight up. And I'd be like, "Tonight's a good night." That shit's adding 4 inches to my height.
Another thing I remember about your look was that you, unlike the rest of us, you never partook in the tanning beds. You were very white.
You guys were all going for bronze?
Buddies, we would bronze up like every day, man. We were just straight. We were like Jersey Shoring it back then.
Chalmers was a Jersey Shore guy. Before we knew what it was, he was GTL.
We'd go,
His Chalmers always have his shit in the dryer. So before we left for the bar, his shirt was in the dryer. And we could never leave until your shirt was done being in the dryer.
The shirt before the shirt.
I would just have a tank top on for the pre-drink while my shirt was fluffing in the dryer. And then right before we went out, put it on. And
pile of silver jewelry somewhere within 10 feet of where you're sitting.
What was that store upstairs in Bourbon Street called that we'd go and we'd buy new shirts every weekend?
Boots and a belt and these. Remember three for
Costello?
No. The one
that was the brand
right at the doors. It was right at the front doors, right across from the watch shop on Bourbon Street. Yeah. It was a clothing store.
You go there for back to school, you get boots and a belt and a shirt.
No, that one was way over by the boat. That was not the one.
No, they both did it.
That's called the Santa Maria.
Yeah, the Santa Maria. Yes.
Thanks.
Yes.
Were you even scared of Y2K when it was coming, Yaremchuk? Were you a fucking gestational bump?
You know how unscared, my family was of Y2K? The next year, my dad started a plumbing company and called it Y2K, and it's still called Y2K.
Oh my God.
Well, made it through.
What was the name of that store? I can see it, Chalmers. You were in there. You'd spend $700 on a diesel shirt and then buy a new one.
I can't remember.
You spent so much money there and you don't remember.
I can't remember what it was called. It was great.
Not Banana Republic. No.
You
go in, they have like the diesel section.
Like
this
the
diesel
is
terrible
section.
podcast content, but we got to get to the bottom of this.
Not Bourbon Street. Not Bourbon Street. It's above
it. Europa Boulevard. You guys
are saying 9 different things.
No,
okay, you know where Professor Wem's Golf is and London Drugs is? Yeah. It was right above that in the mall, right above that. Right.
Oh, yes. Now I know. What the fuck is the name of it?
Underground. Shit.
Underground. Oh,
is it Underground?
No. Unlimited. No. I can't remember now. It's going to drive me crazy. If anybody knows, DM us because that store was awesome.
Jamie Haxby would know. He was like
know.
their best customer of all time. They go in there and be like, "Oh, we're saving a special shirt for you." I remember one time being with him, and they had a special shirt set aside for him. Fuck, what was it?
What was it called? Yeah. Wow. Okay. Well,
there you are.
We really
let's table this and.
I don't even remember why we needed to know it anymore, Chalmers, but we don't know it. That's for detention.
Anyway,
this is gonna haunt me.
Yaremchuk, save this.
If you're wondering, Tyler, I used to shop at West 49. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. I was scrolling through our Instagram because I was getting some listener profiles set up. I saw that at Landon Carr had like a great question that I wanted to float out. And since I asked people to send in questions, I need to get to at least one. So she asked, I have a question. When did Oilers Nation start live tweeting during games? Like, was anyone doing that back in the early decade of darkness? And if so, what was it like? So that's a question for Bag Milk.
Yeah.
What was it like? What was it like live tweeting shitty games in the decade of darkness?
So I started. So originally, when I came on to do the Twitter, it was just posting links to articles. There was every now and then there would be a joke or two in there, maybe one of the old Wanye drawings on MS Paint or something. But
nice.
There was really nothing going on there. So that would have been right. I started doing it right before the lockout of 2012. Was that when the lockout was? So I came on and then there was a lockout for 6 months. So we just made up bullshit for the first part of it. And then that first year of live tweeting games, that was when Yakupov was a rookie and he went on his run. So it was actually a lot of fun. We always had kind of the idea that no matter what was going on, we were going to have fun with it, no matter how bad they were. I don't know how many times I've tweeted at the Oilers that a quick touchdown and we're back in this thing kind of thing. So probably
prior to that point, we would write on the comment section. We remember thinking about like, is it wise to stop the commenting quite as much? Because you'd have articles that have like 1,000 comments.
Yeah.
And then we took it over to social.
Yeah. It first started with like just Wanye, myself, and Bingo Fuel as like 10 different aliases yelling at each other during game days on the comment section of the game day article. And then people started showing up. And then it moved to Twitter.
The first real person I ever talked to in the history of the site was Bag Milk.
Yeah,
I remember.
We used to have Wanya and I used to be, I think you were still at your old gig at that point. We used to talk all day on G-Chat.
Yep. We called ourselves the Justice League.
Yep.
I remember when I was in high school and like,
2019.
And going through broadcasting school. When I'd sit down to watch an Oilers game, I would probably tweet like 35 to 40 times, just literally hoping to have my tweet included in Bag Milk's article. That is all I wanted to happen during an Oilers game, is I wanted a tweet to end up in the article. And when it did, I would like post about like how fired up I was to have my tweet in the article as one of the tweets of the game. Like, you have no idea how happy that made me.
And now you have my phone number and you text me sometimes.
We send each other TikToks. If you would have told me in like grade 11, like, hey, you and Bag Milk are going to send each other TikToks, I would have been like, whoa, what's a TikTok? Like, that's cool that we talk. Anyways, that's our reflection at the history of Oilers Nation and my brief history.
Yeah, but to answer the question, the decade of darkness sucked, but we had fun with it. And that was the only thing that we could do. So it didn't matter how bad the Oilers were, because they were plenty bad. We still pretended and still do that they're the best team on earth, and there's nothing ever going to change about it. We had a lot of fun, even during very, very bad times.
Chalmers, how was the business call you just hopped on?
That was not a business call. I've just found out what the store was called. I called my sister and she knew it like this.
Of course she did.
It was called High Grade.
Oh, High Grade. That is it. Damn it.
Yaremchuk, call us what it was called. High Grade.
Fuck, that drives me nuts that I didn't know that. I love
me too.
Des, thank you, Des.
And the one that you guys were thinking of was Paradox.
Paradox. Oh my God, 2 for 2. Chalmers, how can you not remember Paradox? Most of your credit card purchases.
There.
I never bought anything at Paradox. That was like Matore jeans and stuff. I didn't wear Matore.
Where would you go to get all your diesel, Mr. John
grade.
Diesel?
High Grade.
Straight up High Grade. Everywhere, everything was at High Grade. And Latitudes had it for a bit.
The shit.
Mostly
none of us could remember it.
No,
I know. I used to wear a lot of unlimited stuff too. That was a clothing brand. Anyways.
Yeah.
Kangol too. That was a brand.
Yeah. I'm trying to find a Kangol hat so I can legit rock one for like the summertime for nation events, because I think it would be absolutely hilarious.
Oh,
They
if
are-
anyone has
Character
one,
knows
let us
yourself.
know. We'll happily buy it for Chalmers as a gift.
No, like I can find them.
Oh,
They are ridiculously expensive these days. They're like
You made them
$80.
popular, Chalmers. You made them what they were.
Yeah. And they only like, I want the fabric one, not the wool one. Like the wool ones are way too.
No, you
fuzzy.
want like the velour one that has like the suede.
am I allowed to
No.
say this? I don't know if I am, but I will. If you give Chalmers a Kangol, or if you have one, what can we do like a trade for like one of the new Nation hats? Like we'll send a listener a Nation hat if you
Fuck
have a
yeah.
Kangol for Chalmers.
Totally.
Yeah, it's got to be black though. I never rocked with all that other colors.
You ran a white one too.
Yeah, that was risky. That's a risky business.
You
I'd
also
like
had a purple colored car, so it wasn't as though you were
It
conservative.
was
in your taste.
burgundy, like Yaremchuk sweater.
Yeah, that's
I'd
fair,
like to
that's
see you
fair.
rock one of those red ones from like the 2002 Olympics or whatever that was. That'd be real nice.
What about a blue one? Oilers colors.
But just so we're 100% clear, the Kangol hat that I ran was not like the Run DMC full rim.
Just so
around
we're
it
clear,
kind.
eh?
No,
This
Just
was
so we're
like
clear.
the
the
Bryson-
Samuel Jackson one.
This is
Yeah.
like the Samuel Jackson one. This the Bryson DeChambeau with just the brim on the front.
Yeah.
So if you're listening to this and you think I might have a Kangol that Chalmers will want, we will give you a Nation hat for it if yours is the one Chalmers ultimately chooses. So this is almost like The Bachelor now.
And a
for
big
Kangol
bear.
hats. But
I
you need
would
to
like-
Get a rose.
you need
I
to
would like a
DM
Bachelor.
pictures of it to real life. DM it to us on social.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chalmers,
Oh,
your
man.
takeaway is I want to see these photos from Rum, the height of Edmonton.
You will.
Oh,
And if
that
anybody
was
has a burgundy
magic.
CRX or a CRX of any color that they'd like to sell me too,
Yeah.
DM me because I will buy it.
What
We'll
year?
give you two
90?
Nation hats.
92?
Mine was a 90 SIR.
Wow,
Course,
we're just
the
throwing
best.
wish
None of
lists
the-
out there. I'll take a 94 or 1984 Dodge Ram Charger Prospector Edition if we're just going.
No,
treasure
not
hunting
take.
here.
I'm gonna buy it. High
Oh, I'm
grade.
gonna pay
God,
for
my
it.
sister's
No,
the best.
I'll buy it too. I know an 84 Prospector won't be that much these days. I'll tell you that much.
I'd like to cruise around in a Fiero for a while if we're putting out our wish list. I think that'd be fun.
Ooh, a Fiero with the T-tops.
Yeah, that'd be real nice. He's sitting basically on the road. That'd be good.
Yeah.
I like it.
All right. Well, I'm going to wrap up this episode now because it's getting somewhat close to game time. Jay, are you still going live on all the socials right now?
Oh yeah. Josh is here in studio setting everything up. Last game, so I got to share something really quick. So I had a bet with my little buddy Cruz from Moose Jaw on Saturday. He's a giant Leafs fan.
Cruiser.
We had a bet. Listen to this. This is a good bet to have with a kid, actually. So he's like 10, and I'm brokering this bet with his dad. And the bet was the loser, and he lives in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. The loser has to skip the dishes. The winner donuts.
Can you do that?
Yeah, I was able to do it. So I lost. Got on the app. Sent him some donuts. I thought that was a great bet to have. With
That is a good
10-year-old.
bet.
So I can't wait.
That is a good
I can't
bet.
wait to see what he has in store for me tonight because I want some redemption.
Yeah. But like, you got to make sure if he's going to send you donuts, like you go to like Donut Party or somewhere legit.
Well, that's where I'll send him. See, in Moose Jaw, I didn't have many options, especially because it was like 8 p.m. on a Saturday. So I had to go to McDonald's. That was the only one I found it. And his special request was that they got sprinkled donuts. So I picked a couple sprinkled donuts. And then, fast forward 10 minutes later, I checked my phone. I missed like 10 calls from Saskatchewan. So I call the number. It's McDonald's. They're out of sprinkled donuts. So,
Oh,
but that's part of me. Part of me kind of got joy in that. Because I'm the Leafs fan, the Leafs
depriving
winner.
a kid of his sprinkled donuts made you
Yeah, I
happy?
got to deprive him of that because he really wanted him. He got his Leafs win. Okay, you can't have it all. He learned a powerful lesson that day.
You can't have it all. Where would
What the
you put it?
world
have it all,
giveth
man.
and the world taketh away. What was the?
Can't have it all.
What was
Can't always. And also, but let's be honest. Optically, sprinkled donuts look cool, but they're not the best.
No,
Not even close.
They look like Homer Simpson donuts, though.
Yeah, they're just
cool.
optic. Yeah, but they're not like you eat them and like the sprinkles are almost annoying.
There's a certain joie de vivre though when you got a sprinkled donut. It's
Optically.
Yeah. It's a light donut to eat. Like sometimes if you get ones with like too much, like my go-to, to be fair, is like a strawberry filled one, something with the filling in it. But sometimes those can be a little heavy, like a good light vanilla dip donut. That's just easy to eat.
Yeah, that's fine without sprinkles.
I'd crush a Long John.
All
right now.
donuts are the same if they're
love
cold.
Long Johns. I love
Oh
Long
my
Johns
God.
because I thought I was getting away with murder because
You're an
it's
idiot.
the same price as a regular donut and it's way bigger.
What is that noise?
All
So
Oodle,
that's fucking me laughing.
Good
I was like
Christ.
saying all Oodle Noodle tastes the same when it's cold. It
All
doesn't.
real life podcasts are the same if they're cold.
Well, speaking about
Actually, you know
Oodle
what
Noodle
I
when it's
did?
cold.
Yeah, Jay, you need this because I know you're moving into your new crib and you're waiting.
Okay.
Tyler gave me this tip. I had Oodle Noodle the other day and I tossed my leftovers in the air fryer.
Woo-wee.
That was good living right there.
Did they crisp up a little?
A little bit.
Oh, that sounds heavenly.
I will take it one
very,
further.
very nice.
With your leftovers the next day, make an omelet out of it.
Sprinkle some cheese on it.
Oh, that'd be
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, it's legit.
Make an
That's a little synergy
omelet.
between cuisines.
Do you know what our friend used to do with his donaires? He used to buy 2 donaires after the bar, and he would eat one that night, and then take the second one home and put it in his fridge. The next morning, he'd wake up, he'd fold it, he'd butterfly it like a chicken breast. He'd open it right up, and he'd stick it on broil, so it crisped up everything, and then he'd eat it with a fork, almost like it was like a
Wow.
salad. Or something.
Yeah.
And he just, man, a donaire for dinner and a donaire for breakfast. That's body killing right there.
This is totally a little bit off topic, but speaking of reheating stuff,
What isn't?
Liam, who's helping us out with some content here at the Nation, he used to do this thing where on his way home, he would get a Tim Hortons coffee like at night and just put it in the fridge and then reheat it the next morning in the
I do
microwave.
that, buddy.
Really? Like just get
I'm
a
all
coffee
over
maker.
that. Me, Liam, and RD Southern.
I don't like.
You know who that is? Your
coffee
Yaremchuk?
that's
You fuck.
fresh.
Jesus. You're coming at me hard today. I haven't done anything. And you're like, oh,
I'm
me
mad
and
about
Yaremchuk got
this whole. You were 2 years old when I was on the dance floor at Cowboys. I'm not taking this well. I'm doing
I
the
was
math
seeing-
on this.
I was like,
I
hey,
was
you can
seeing
come
the
visit me
Venga
in St.
boys.
Albert. You're like, fuck you. I'm not coming to your shitty house, Yaremchuk.
You don't like me. I don't like you. But yet we're on this podcast. It's a mystery.
All right.
Boys, remember the Venga Boys concert? Ooh, was that a good time at Cowboys?
When there was a fight on the dance floor and the lady worked it into the song to tell everyone the security there's a fight. One of the best
During the
ad-libs
Venga
I've ever
Boys?
seen.
Got
Oh,
something to tell you. There's
the
a
dance
giant
floor.
scrap on the floor. Yeah.
Yaremchuk walks by in a diaper. He's 2. See you on the podcast, Wanye. I'm just kidding, Yaremchuk. I like you.
Yeah, can
You're
I wrap
taking
this
a
up?
You're taking a weird road to the top of the local media scene, but you're on your way.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to wrap this up.
Bets for tonight. Bets for tonight. I don't know what to do.
Oilers
Bets for
puck
tonight.
line, fucking hammer it. They're smoking the Leafs.
Risky
They have to.
business coming up hour before puck drop. Join me on Instagram. Let's talk a little betting.
I'm in.
People will listen to this 2
did
hours
on
after that has happened.
Yeah.
Yep. But for tomorrow's game.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's game.
Hour before puck drop.
Episode
He's more
268.
just sort of. There you go.
Are you
There
letting me
are.
wrap up?
Have at her, buddy.
Okay. Episode 268 of the Real
Tyler,
Life
do you want to
Podcast.
talk about how I want to move?
We have a lot to still get to on Thursday's episode of the podcast. That's what I'm getting right
We got to
now.
go.
We
Here,
do?
Yaremchuk. No more time. We got to
Awesome.
We got to wrap.
You guys
Gotta
want to talk
wrap.
about the Masters in 2 weeks?
Oh, can't wait. That'll be next week, Charles. Can't wait.
Awesome. Maybe a little Final Four. You guys talked about NCAA Final Four with Scott, and I
Yep.
wasn't even there to talk about it.
Yeah, because you got suspended.
Could have
I didn't
used
get
you.
suspended.
I got
And-
suspended.
Yeah. All right.
Did we get
Episode two-
suspended?
Yeah.
Yaremchuk, we got to go.
I know. I'm trying to wrap this up.
Ah,
The
end this
podcast
already.
is brought to you
Jeez.
by Oodle Noodle and Manscaped
Delicious.
and Twig and Berries.
Big
It's all
stuff to
good.
come
It's all
on
delicious.
disc golf. Big stuff to come on disc golf.
Big
boys.
stuff. There's momentum.
sure.
There's momentum,
Big
on
momentum.
disc golf. We've got partners that want to help us,
Yep.
and we got people reaching out to us wanting to enter the tournament, even though we haven't launched it yet.
Barry McCockin's going to show up.
And most importantly,
Barry McCocken. That's the name of the podcast. Barry
It
From the
absolutely
McCocken
cannot.
Well,
You can absolutely keep that.
he'll be the grand marshal of the tournament.
Yeah.
To everyone
Always
who
at full
submitted
attention.
questions today, I'm sorry we didn't get to them. There was too much nonsense. I
Okay, ask a
apologize.
quick one right now, Yaremchuk.
I know, not a
One
chance.
final one.
Episode
We always say
268
audience.
of the Real
Just
Life
ask one.
Podcast is
Just one.
come
over.
on.
Great job on making it through the entire hour of the Real Life Podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe wherever you get your podcast from.